Welcome back to the Tide Repaint. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Magic Square MS-B54C Tornado, their take on Vortex. And it is a Legends scale figure. I did get this to Shows store. I have a link down below where you can get yours, TH, in the support your reviewer box if you want to help the channel out. But this is really more exciting than it already was, because we're going to be getting all these in the Masterpiece scale and getting to take a look at these now, seeing how much difference it's going to be in the Masterpiece scale is going to be interesting also. This sucker is pretty complicated transformation, but we'll get into taking a look at this and more coming up. Here's the box, nothing really all special, and pretty much right in line with what we have grown to expect. And it's the size of it versus the figure, because it has combining parts in it. Here he is, out of the box, and with the intro I was trying to actually get the pose that was illustrated on the box. Something that we couldn't do as kids back in the day, because those Transformers were mostly bricks. I will show you the G1. Here's sort of a G1 comparison. It's not a very good one, but yeah, pretty interesting how it looks. If you really look, there is quite a bit of little kibbly stuff that's on here. And then they hide a lot of the kibble at the same time. So it's pretty interesting how this figure goes. But in a way, a little bland, but there is quite a bit of color breakup. He's got some nice red visor on his eyes, blue here and blue here, those paint apps, and then molded blue for the thighs, and then some gray paint apps down the front, black feet on the bottom there. It's got a different type of paint for the windows to make them look like they are actually sort of made of glass and windows. From the back, very, very clean. Very, very clean. Really good. I mean, this is it's amazing how much we're going to have to go through to get this to helicopter mode, and it's still going to look pretty much perfect in all modes. And that's one thing about Magic Square. They do look really good in all modes. And with that, let's go ahead and get into some articulation. I should start at the feet next time, right? Instead of just always starting at the head. No real up and down, left to right, shoulder, crazy amount of space that you do on the shoulder there. 360, bicep swivel at the actual bicep, double jointed, and on the elbow, the hand side to side. About it. We got the crazy, I haven't even checked, but I'm pretty sure we have the crazy ab crunch, right? We do? We don't? We don't have the crazy ab crunch? It's got like a sideways thing going on. Waist swivel. Speaking without checking, that's smart, isn't it? Goes out to about here. The tiny little hip flap that hides. All of this, of course, is friction. Will be ratcheted in the Masterpiece version by swivel going over here. Double joint on the knee. And then we have stuff going on with the foot. Toes can move around a little bit, but mostly it is an ankle rocker more than a tilt. As he likes to accessorize, he does have a gun, and that's pretty nice. But he also has a couple of other accessories. So we can place this piece here. It's a gun, and it'll tab into his forearm, which the side with the gun is not really noticeable. So the side without the gun, it's more noticeable. So we plug that in. And these do kind of transform up. I think it could fold over the arm a little bit too. So you got what you got going on over here. Now this is, I'm curious about placement in alt mode. I didn't really see it in the instructions, but I know that the instructions did show it goes here. So that's kind of cool, interesting addition. Probably if I watched the show, you saw this in the show, but I won't be using it so much. Here he is versus the G1, G2. I don't know, there was like 5 different versions. Ruination or something for Bruticus back in the day. It's hard to keep up with it. He's missing an arm, and I knocked the whole table down. So much taller and way better than what we got in the vintage line, but a lot more complex. Ignore the missing arm right there. Kind of the size of Hound, a little taller than Hound, not quite as tall as Megs and Prime. And I think that's exactly the right scale. That's exactly where a combiner arm should be. Maybe not as tall as Megs and Prime, but a head shorter is perfect. And of course, taller than the G1. Got to reiterate that. Transformation on this guy is not the easiest in the world, but It's not either intuitive either, but we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to tab his arms in. That good old Magic Square tab. Yeah, one side gave me some trouble, the other one probably not as much trouble. We're going to open that up and pop this piece here out. Then we're going to do a quick flip around and get this hand into here. Is that the right angle to get the hand in? There it is. Do that on this side. Flipping them up and flipping it back and flipping out all this stuff. So this is all going to flip out, and I mean, in a way, it almost feels like, hey, this makes sense. All this is just going to flip out and tab into place. And it will eventually when we get to it. But we also have to get down here to the lower legs, which is another fun part. So forming the front nose cone is going to be quite involved. Quite a bit of stuff that's going to be going on down here. All right, let's start with this one right here. Since it's not painted, it's easy to just pop that up, fold this up and out. This mushroom tabs into there, and then we're going to start opening up a lot of this stuff. Pull this down, sort of disengages it, and then we are going to fold this down. We are going to turn this nose cone, so this is sort of the nose cone right here that we need to make. And if you kind of get it at the right angle, you can see it's the nose cone. And we are going to fold this. Basically, it's going to fold into this nose cone here. But we need to get this toe aligned just right to where it'll go in there. Into the nose cone. This is going to flip around. It always works best for me when I'm looking at it from an angle of how's it going to look in the end. And it's hard to do with this transformation. Now we've got to get this piece here aligned for the tab. This is going to fold over. Then this is going to fold over into some gap filling that's going to go on. This is going to slide into place. Why is the nose cone not in place? There that goes. So far we have gotten most of this aligned right. Nope, this didn't go down enough. That's got to go all the way down so that the tabs line up. It keeps wanting to go up. There we go. Tabs lined up on that. Then you just kind of rock it, fold it back. And then this is going to kind of go down like this for now. You can actually tab that in. So we've got this side pretty much done. We're going to be working on it. Do the other side pretty much the same way. I'm trying to keep this transformation shorter than, gosh, because this could be like a 12-15 minute transformation. One thing I noticed is trying to get this flush with the toe just right. Get to show that. And it seems a little easier on one side than the other. But I just kind of had to play around with it to get that toe just right in there. Now we're going to tab all this together, the front end. And this is a point at which you can, I'm not going to do it yet. We're going to do it later because it should be just easy to tab it in. But the gun is going to store in it, and it's also going to give the little front nose cone thing. But I think it's going to pop out. So I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it at the end. We'll just add it on for the front piece. But this is kind of where we're at so far. And then we have to get back here in down here. These kind of tab in also right here, and they come untabbed. So there will be some re-tabbing in the future or at the end of this, but it looks to hold together pretty well in the front end once we've got that. But now we're going to spread all of this, and we need to get the, let's see here, we need to get this tabbing situation together for the arms. Fast real quick. A bunch of stuff's gonna happen really fast real quick. We're gonna take this section of the gun. It doesn't fold up or anything, it just tabs into here. So you can store your gun away in here, which I will so I don't lose it. It's not attached. If it's not attached, I'm gonna lose it. Then I believe this is the correct orientation for the arms. Get them tabbed together, and then we're going to bring them up, and that's going to tab in to. We're going to go ahead and go at it from a little bit different angle. Let's go ahead and get this plugged in on each side so that it's solidified. Then we can come over to this and tab this into the roof. Like that. And like that. Still have things aligned, and my gun fell out. But we still have things aligned so it can come up and go into here. With the arms. But I'm going to reattach the gun inside here. So this, I feel like when they do stuff like this, it's a little bit problematic. But I still am glad they did it, but that just felt like a problem to me. Alright, getting this up here and aligning it. One thing about Magic Square, you are going to have to push some stuff past some stuff with this transformation. There, that's in there. And I'm starting to come undone. Back down. Go back down on there. Go back down on here. And then we're going to finish up with all this other stuff in the back, which is a whole lot of fun. Not really. A whole lot of fun. We're going to fold this in so we got the head clearance on these. These first inner tabs need to kind of tab in. So it's mushroom tab to here, and then tab to the insides. I feel like I'm just re-tabbing stuff that I've already tabbed in. That's just kind of what sucks. Putting these small connector pieces over here, then we're going to come over and we're going to mushroom tab this in right here. And this is where it doesn't exactly feel like it's all... Someone's going to say I have something aligned wrong, I know, but this is kind of how it's going together. And then this back piece, this needs to come down. This needs to come down. Just make sure it's aligned. And these are on double joints to get this in place. And we're pretty much there. Got to go around and tab everything back in again. And then that's the magic of the square, is that once it's all together, for the most part, it's going to hold in. My wheel keeps falling off. So it's not in my wheel house to keep the wheel on, but I think that's it. I mean, I think we're pretty much there. And it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, which is what they always do. It's weird, like as you're going through it, it doesn't feel like it's going to look this good when it's done, but it does. A couple minor cleanup issues on this was splitting this. I got to be real careful with that, and then bring these down and flip them as they come down. The only reason I even noticed that this wasn't down was because they impede the spinning of your blades, and then you can fold out your blades to make it even longer, and then you can We can add this piece now. So see how easy it is to split it at the end. I feel like I would have lost this. It would have fallen out during the transformation. And so I'm glad I waited. But which side do I stick it in? Is it straight up and down? Or can we just stick it into one of the sides? Because there's a little notch in it. Guess you can stick it to either side. Stick it to either side. And you have it. Yeah, now it's done. Here it is in its alt mode. It looks really good in its alt mode, especially when you have the wings all the way out. And you could make them go up just a little bit more. And then you got this piece back here that doesn't really spin. It moves, but it doesn't spin freely. The front gun. The wheels are there. They're separate pieces, but they don't roll. And I'm kind of curious if I missed it or not, but I wondered if there's something in the back to help it, because it just kind of sits like that when it's sitting. And I would think there'd be something to prop it up in the back that I'm just missing on it. But still, it's so complicated. There's so much to it. I wouldn't have wanted them to add anything else to it. But the end result is quite nice. It is quite nice. The windows on it, they even have like a different shiny paint to it, which, you know, Magic Square, and they're not wanting to use shiny paint. They're huge, but this is on the windows. It looks good. Even the head's kind of hidden away okay, and it looks like maybe it's cargo or something it's carrying. So overall, this is really fantastic. It's gonna look, and think about how much better they can do with it in the Masterpiece scale. And I think all the panel forming and all that stuff will be a little less irritating when the pieces are bigger in the Masterpiece scale. So this transformation is not horrible. It actually really isn't. I would say it's not 100% intuitive, but it's about 70% intuitive. Some of it you just kind of have to look at the instructions. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty good looking. Let's do a comparison. In comparison, here it is to the, well, it's kind of a lame G1, G2 Ruination or whatever version, but you guys kind of see the size comparison. Bigger than G1, and it blows everyone's mind when a Legend figure is bigger than G1. Still blows mine. Here's next to some mini bots for scale, just so you get the idea of what the scale will look like. And it's really hard to say. Helicopter versus a space shuttle versus some cars. Now for the combined mode, we're going to make it easy on ourselves and fold all these back up. What really sucks is the untransforming what we've already transformed. And that always sort of sucks, but it is what it is, what it is. I'm glad that we had it in this mode as long as we could. I actually didn't check and see where we could put these guns, but there's probably a couple places, I guess, right here. There's a couple places we can put these guns. And it'll help it stand too. Oh, I just thought of that. Anyway, getting into the combined mode here. We have to undo a lot, which sucks, but it is what it is. And pop this section up. Open this. We're going to, effectively what we're going to do is flip this piece here back around. And do that. Try to figure out the easiest way, because there's so much that tabs into it. But the easiest way to get this thing flipped around so that we can get it all on tab, because this tabs into so many pieces. There we go. And this tab likes to hang up on everything. This one here likes to hang up on practically everything. Alright, we're going to slide this back to disconnect it. We're going to open this piece here up. We are going to flip this. This is mostly acting as a holder piece. We're going to put it back down so that we can fold this over. And then we have to align this to tab into this so that it gives it some structure and strength. in the arm. And then we can fold this back down, and that is a big part of it. And we're going to do that on the other side. This is really kind of a strange way to do it. It does, in my opinion, it really does break up the sculpt the way they went about doing this. But it's still going to look like a good arm. And getting all the tabs untabbed around it is, of course, a challenge. This guy holds a lot of stuff in place, and I think we've freed up most of this to get it rotated around. I think there's one more tab in here that's got to give. Yeah, so it can do the rotation process. And then remember about this, as you're rotating it, this is a pain. Let's get this back down. We do have to get this section here set up to receive the tab. Let's do that from this side. Gets a little confusing, that's why you got to kind of stay on track with where you're at with all of this stuff, so it's not too confusing. There we go. And the nose cone is in the way of me putting that back down, so I have to put that back up. So we're getting pretty close to this. Now what we're going to need to do, and that's not in place, bring the hand in, and you're going to see that there's a section that's kind of rounded off, which is really cool that they did it like that. And so there's a multitude of things that's going to solidify this, which is good. It's good. So you got two tabs here. They're going to go into the nose cone, and at the same time you're going to tab into the sides. I guess it doesn't really matter which ones you put in first. Tab those in, then you give it a nice shove on the nose cone tabs, and that is solid. So that forearm right there, that is primo solid. Now, the reason that the rest of it doesn't look so solid right now is because we're going to tab the rest of this stuff in, and we are going to tab the rest of the stuff into the arm. All right, now this screwed me up for a bit. I couldn't figure out what was going on with it, but for whatever reason, maybe I had it wrong in the helicopter mode, but flip this, and we need to get the head straight up and down on this. So we're going to flip this, and then now we should be able to flip this all around. I don't get it. I guess it could work both ways in the helicopter mode, but in combined mode it has to be like this. So we're going to open this up. So you got to have the head up and down. You can kind of flip the head backwards and have whatever that is going on. This is where it connects. Here's the torso. It's going to slide into here. This piece slides into this. It's a bit on the crazy side of things, isn't it? I think you can slide just a little more, but yeah, and then we should be able to push it down. I would think you'd be able to push that little tab down on the other side of this for more support, but I'm guessing not. Seems like you should, though. Seems like they would have engineered that in. So we've got this attached. Now we're going to have to fold all this stuff back up and form the tail. Kind of get that tab back into place, tab this back into place, and there's tabbing this top piece back into place, and just cleaning it up. I mean, it depends on how clean you want it, and I want mine pretty clean, so we keep doing all that. Throughout all this, I lost my gun storage. I was wanting to keep the gun stored, but it just kept falling out. That sucked. Okay, next we are going to plug this in. There's tab, 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 slot, 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 and And more tabs, slots and tabs. So it should all work fine. It just all plugs in all these spots. Very, very firm. Very good. And then this is going to come down, and then the head, the neck's going to tab into Onslaught, which this part really should have come with Onslaught, but I understand kind of breaking up the cost factor of all this. Now, how am I going to get this in here into the Onslaught? It's going to take a little bit of work, but we'll get it done. Now, Onslaught did come with the breastplate. Yeah, chest plate, breastplate. So we can plug that in. This is as far as we can go. So we have to stop right here. So this is my look at the fourth component, the Vortex. This is everything so far in the first 4 components. We need the last, what is it, blast off? That is going to give us all that good stuff. We're going to get the lower legs. We're going to get the last arm. We're going to be able to combine it 100%. We'll be done. But we're waiting on that one bot to finish this up. But anyway, I did get this Shozy store. I have a link down below where you get yours. Remember TH Reviewer Code to help support your reviewer channel if you want to help the channel out. And let me know what you think about this. Are you in on this? Are you ultra excited about the masterpiece coming? Like, subscribe, and stay there and hang around. Bruticus is victorious.